ZO. If you don't know what this game is, it's a sandbox fighting game where you simply battle other players with a plethora of different weapons, and it's based around traditional Japanese battles. It has a fairly unique style of combat where pretty much everything one-shots, but the speed and hitboxes of different weapons varies. ZO has some of the most unique combat out of any fighting game on Roblox, and its mechanics may be hard to grasp just because they're so different from what's considered normal. However, it is a pretty good fighting game once you get the hang of things, and visually, ZO is amazing. As with any game I review, I'll start with the good stuff before I get into things that could probably be improved. So, without further ado, let's get started with reviewing ZO. Alright, so starting with the most simple and obvious positive, this game is amazing visually. The map is very well made and looks incredibly realistic, with lighting that complements the environment perfectly. This game's map alone could be a nice showcase game, and overall, it just looks amazing. It's also not too big, and after a bit of exploring, you'll probably get the hang of it eventually. All in all, the map is perfect. Besides the map are the basic weapon models, animations, and VFX, and for these, it's also done well. The weapons look great, not really too much to say there, but the animations are amazing. ZO's animations are just great all around, whether it be emotes or attacking, and they deliver the important visual information that you need in a fight quite well. Thumbs up to the animators, they did a good job. As for the VFX, it's nothing too flashy, but then again, it doesn't have to be. For a basic fighting game revolving around traditional Japanese combat, having simple and grounded VFX fits perfectly. This game captures the feeling it wants to achieve very well, and I'm quite impressed with what I see. Now, aside from the visuals are the core combat, and it's pretty good. There's a bunch of weapons with their own strengths that you can use to fight people, as well as basic movement mechanics that serve their purpose. Here's the basic summary of the combat. All weapons have an M1 and an M2. The M1 one-shots, and the M2 is a block button, which saves you from a one-shot, but makes you take a little bit of chip damage. These are universal for every single weapon. However, what differs between weapons is their hitbox and speed, which is an interesting mechanic. The weapons in the game so far are the katana, 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮𝓸 𝓢𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓼, cestus, and kanabo. I quite like the variety with all these weapons, and I think it's a good way to spice up the combat a bit. Overall, everything is super smooth, and I like the way it's done. Now last, but not least of the positives, is the cosmetics that are in the game. Firstly, I want to start off by saying that using cosmetics as the main way to monetize the game is great. I'm so glad that the devs didn't decide to give players any gameplay advantages for paying, and having cosmetics as the main revenue source is great. Second, the cosmetics actually look really nice, even though their price is sky high. It just goes to show how good the modelers of the game are. There's unique kill effects, unique weapons, and crates I can buy if you want to do a bit of gambling. There's also a wheel you can spin that gives you different things depending on your luck. Overall, pretty good cosmetic system that isn't necessary for a game, but can give people who really want to spend something to do. All in all, everything is pretty nice, and the devs did a good job with pretty much everything. Alright, so for the bad things about this game, there's not really a lot. ZO is such a simple and straightforward fighting game that it's hard to find any flaws. There's only a small amount of content, and the devs polished it to the absolute limit, so they did everything great. Games that put quality before quantity are always a good experience, and I'm glad that they made it that way. However, that's not to say that this game is without flaw, so let's start discussing what could be improved. First off, this game could probably benefit from having more game modes or more stuff to do. Maybe a capture the flag game mode or a team deathmatch game mode could be pretty cool. This game has a foundation it needs, and now all that's left is to build on it. Also, this game can be pretty off-putting to new players simply because the combat is so weird, so giving new players a helping hand might help them a bit. Then again, this combat is super simple and not too hard to grasp, so this isn't a must-have change, and more just a nitpick. Overall, ZO is a perfect example of quality before quantity, and though it doesn't have a lot of content, what it does have is absolutely amazing. So, taking all of this into consideration, is ZO worth your time? Well, after seeing everything it has to offer, I'd say it definitely is worth a playthrough. It's a simple game that doesn't require you to invest all your time, but if you like what you see, its core mechanics are more than enough to keep you entertained for a while. Though it may take you a while before you actually fully master the game's mechanics, once you do, you'll have a blast fighting people. The one-hit kill mechanics are unique, but also very simple, and make fights very careful, but quick. ZO is more grounded than your typical fighting game, and it plays to that strength very well. The game is proof that you don't need to be flying around at Mach 10, shooting lasers out of your eyes, to have a fun and great fighting game. So, if you've got time to waste, definitely give ZO a try. Now, with that being said, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed watching, please like and subscribe since it helps out a lot. As always, I'm 𝓥𝓲𝓭𝓮𝓸, and I'll see you next time in another video. Bye!